Hello and welcome to another episode of Mothership Gear. Today we have a super fun episode with my friend Loren of Loren's Emporium and my friend Kari of Faunavision. So if you've been following along with Peavey, you've kind of seen their resurgence and you may know about the Peavey Decade amplifier, but Kari is a Peavey enthusiast and he's been collecting a bunch of amps, including the Audition. So we thought, let's compare the two and find out if there's a huge difference, because there is a difference in price on the market. But maybe you might want to pick up both, or maybe you just want to pick up one over the other. Hopefully we'll help you decide. And I'm super grateful that we were able to have both these guys talk, because I learned about Peavey from Loren in the sense that we did our first Peavey amp video with him at the studio, I want to say over the past year, and now I get to hear the Peavey Decade, which is something that Kari has in his collection. So please enjoy the episode.
There's no cuts. We're doing it live.
Hey, welcome to Mothership Gear. I'm glad you're joining in with me and my friend Kari. We're going to be auditioning, no pun intended, two different Peavey amps, the Decade and the Audition 20. We're going to start off with the Decade. We're adding some flavor, some artistic flavor with the TC Electronic Tailspin, which is like a vibrato, the CH1 Boss Super Chorus, the 80s analog model, and then a Big Sky for our reverbs. And then when those are all off, we're just going directly in dry.
All right.
I remember I first saw it on YouTube. It was an Eric Valentine video where he's talking about recording Queens of Stone Age and their like secret weapon for bass tone. And then it shot up in price and people were making pedals about it, and everyone was digging through their basement and their garage to find it to like win big and sell it for $500. And then when you couldn't afford the Decade, you were searching Craigslist for something that looked like it and you'd get the Audition 20. So now you get to hear both.
Both of them, yes. So yeah, that one's a little more boxier, I feel like, when I hear it.
Yeah, I think it has definitely like a more lo-fi quality to it. Because I'm pretty sure on the back there's even like a 9-volt plug that you could power this amp like a pedal, which is crazy. So they really were selling it as like, this is the cheapest, most practice amp you can get.
Yeah.
And now people are using it on major record.
Yeah, that thing, when you like put it through like some distortion, it sounds great. It's like a little ratty and it's a little wiry, but it has like that sound that you're like, whoa, what is this? And it almost like a fuzz too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Do you mind if we get like a dirty tone?
Yeah, let's get it.
Would you plug it into the saturation input, or do you usually leave it into the normal to get your dirty?
I usually leave it in the normal, and then I just kind of crank the preamp, the white knob, and then I take the other one the opposite way. Yeah.
To make sure the levels are matched.
Yeah, so it's a little bit more distorted. But we can use the saturation with this guitar because this guitar doesn't run very hot.
Oh, okay.
So we can try that.
Let's do it. Out and in. How about we play a riff and I'll kind of go through the pre.
Okay.
Nice. Nice. Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does have this like kind of gnarly, hairy fuzz quality to it.
Yes.
That I'm sure blends really well when you're doing a recording.
Yes. I love putting like just one take of that in between two acoustic guitars.
Oh.
So if you have like an acoustic song, but you need it to be beefed up in a chorus, if you put that layer right under it next to the bass, it beefs it up without giving you that feeling of like it's overdriven.
Oh, cool.
And that's like a little secret technique.
Yeah, you're getting secret recording techniques and amp demos. Nice. Yeah, I would have never thought of that. But yeah, I'm sure like your perception when you're listening to a track and you just want the chorus to be big, it's either distortion or compression, I would assume, are like the two elements you're working with. And your ear probably can't discern and be like, oh, there's a distorted guitar. You just hear, you're like, it sounds big.
Yeah, especially when it's right next to the bass and the bass is driving, then you're kind of fattening up the bass a little bit without kind of taking out the integrity of the acoustic guitars.
Yeah, there you go. Rad.
If you hear the mid up and the high lower.
Yeah, let's oh yeah, it sounds, we love to use this description when we're doing Peaveys on the channel, is that the mids are very chewy. Like it has this like bite to it.
Yeah.
It's really boxy and chewy. Very cool. Very cool. That's a fun tones to kind of blend in with, let's say, a more hi-fi amp, or even if you're doing just a DI clean and you want a little grit behind it.
Yeah, especially for live stuff, because both of these amps have a preamp out.
Oh, cool.
And then so for the Decade, it's in the back, but for the Audition, it's in the front. And you can send that front of house, and you can also be miking it, send that front of house, and you can have like a good kind of DI tone of this. A lot of people, what they do is they use the preamp out, and then they put it through another tube amp as a driver, like a Marshall or something like that. So you're getting the high gain or the chewiness of the Peavey, and then you're putting it through like a Marshall or something like that to get that tone.
That reminds me, I remember I saw a story on YouTube of like Marshalls. Everyone was using like the JCM 800, but to get like the tone they wanted, they would throw like a tube driver, which is like a FET chip. And then Marshall came out with the 900, which basically had a FET drive portion built into the amp, and no one really liked it. And I forget who it was. There's a channel, and they're like, guys, this is like what you've been doing with the guitar pedal, just in an amp. And no one wanted to buy it. And so you can get a JCM 900 cheaper than the 800, but it gets you the tone that you're hearing on the records.
Yeah.
Which what you're talking about, you'd take this like solid state FET kind of sound and run that through a tube amp to get this chewy distortion.
Yeah. And you can achieve it at, I guess, lower volumes.
Yeah. Rad.
So a lot of like that death metal stuff, or am I saying it correctly? Death metal, or like that just straight up, you know,
yeah,
using those.
Yeah, because you need like that push in the front of the amp to like get those mid-range tones. Yeah. Well, that sounded fun. That was cool. Kind of scrolling through this Decade. Let's turn it off and go to the Audition, and we can audition it. Cool. Let's switch over.
All right.
You can reach this one.
Loren, I want you to try to reach it. Kari, don't help him.
Okay. I'll have to lean forward so I can do my.
Yeah. Oh shoot, that actually is gonna be.
Oh man.
So let's dive into this Audition 20. We got to hear some tones of the Decade. Let's start off with your artistic. Everyone says clean tone. Would this be like wet tone or not dirty. I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, it is kind of like a wet tone. It's just like no distortions or anything, because we want to hear like the pure distortion from the amps.
Yeah.
And then just putting something basic so you would get an idea of how it would sound with pedals, because these amps are extraordinarily good at taking pedals. They're good. And that was one thing I really noticed when I got them. This Audition especially is a little bit more, it has a little bit more options, because it has like it's like the fat boost right here.
Yeah,
like,
you pull to
thick, yeah, and that kind of gives it a
and you have pull to saturation. How am I going to pull these and be in frame?
And so that's the difference between this one and the Decade, because the Decade you have to literally unplug and plug in.
Oh yeah, where this is just one input.
Yeah, and I think you can use a foot switch for the saturation for this one, for the Audition. I'm not sure though.
That's funny, because everyone praises the Decade, but from a player's perspective, I would probably choose the Audition for being able to foot switch or pull all this stuff out with one input instead of having to change inputs.
Absolutely. And the only like reason I would really use a Decade is for the distortion and like that kind of stuff. This one's a little bit more well-rounded.
Yeah.
Like I was telling you earlier, like there's a country band called Shenandoah that uses solid state Peaveys, from what I've heard. And I really like the Audition in particular because it just sounds so good with reverbs and just like a kind of cleaner tone.
Yeah. All right. Well, Country Road, take me home.
Okay, let's see.
Run that one more time and I'll turn the pedals off.
Okay.
Nice.
All right.
Run it. Sweet. I like it. Rad. No, I really like how both of them sound and both of them kind of work together, have similarities and differences. I think that's the best part about multiple amps in the studio is you can get different flavors, and you could even blend these two on a track, or guitar left, Decade, guitar right, Audition, and so you get a little bit of variances.
Yeah.
Let's do the stereo real quick.
The versatility of Peavey. You see we have the Peavey stacks right here.
Do we want to do the same? No. Let's do different EQs. So let's maybe mid forward Peavey or Decade. They're both Peaveys. Decade and less mid, kind of your clean tone.
Yeah, we can turn it. Let's see. Maybe a little.
Yeah. This is kind of where like.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, Kari, thanks for bringing your two amps and kind of going back and forth. super fun to listen to both of them and have some of the pedals, have some of the dry, stereo, the whole nine. This has been fun.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
If people want to find you online, where are you located?
On Instagram under Faunavision, on TikTok under Faunavision, and we're coming out with another record pretty soon. Got a bunch of stuff on Spotify and everywhere, so go ahead and check it out.
Thank you so much for watching Mothership Gear. If you guys want to follow along for more content from Loren, then check out Loren's Emporium on Instagram. And if you want to follow along with Kari, then check out Faunavision on all streaming platforms, and you'll see him on TikTok and Instagram and all of that. If you guys want more Mothership Gear, then subscribe here to Alfonso Inc., and we will see you guys next time.